Hello everyone, welcome back to SEAMRITE Fashion Academy channel. If you are new to this channel, you are highly welcome, and if you have been with SEAMRITE Fashion Academy channel, I sincerely appreciate each and every one of you. Today's tutorial is going to focus on the turtleneck which you are seeing on the screen right now. Okay, so to begin this tutorial, you can see on my table in here I have my half scale and my front half scale bodice and the back half scale bodice. Okay, so before we start off this tutorial, a turtleneck needs to be attached to a bodice. Okay, and on the screen you can see that the picture we have in there is a half scale attached. The turtleneck is attached to the half scale. Then on the skirt level you have a flared skirt attached to it as well. So I'm making use of a half scale bodice. Okay, so if you want to know how this half scale bodice is being drafted, I'll be dropping the link on the description box below. If you look at the video by your left hand side or your right hand side, on my own side is the left, and on your own side as you are watching it is the right hand side. So on the right hand side of this video, under this video, you see an arrow pointing downwards, and that is the description box. Please, you can click on the link on how to draft a basic half scale bodice to know how this is being drafted. All right, so to begin this tutorial right away, we are going to make some alterations to this pattern. Okay, so the alterations we are going to make to this pattern is on the neckline. We are going to increase or expand our neckline so as to accommodate the turtleneck which you are seeing on that screen. So if you look at the half scale bodice, we have a 3x3 standard neckline, which is standard for a half scale or full scale bodies. Okay, so right now we want to make some alterations. We are going to increase the neckline of that turtle neckline. Okay, so I'm going to increase this neckline by 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to take 3/4 of an inch all around. Okay, 3/4 of an inch all around the neckline, and that is going to serve as the new neckline of which we are going to attach the turtleneck. Okay, so I'll be using some dotted lines right now to indicate the neckline in here. Okay, I believe you understand the expansion we've made to our neckline. So this is the current neckline we are going to make use of because of how the turtleneck is being constructed on the picture you are seeing there. Okay, so we don't need it to be so choky. Okay, you can see there are some room allowance to that neckline. So the same thing we did to the front neckline, we are also going to do it to the back neckline. But the back neckline, remember, normally is 1 inch by 3 inches. So I'll first of all create the back neckline, which is 1 inch by 3 inches on a normal drafting. So I'm also going to increase the back neckline right away. I'm also increasing it by 0.75, although this increment is optional. Okay, it's optional, it's not a must that you have to increase it. Okay, if you want to make the neckline wider, then you can increase it. But if you feel like going by the natural neckline, okay, you can also go by the natural neckline. But I prefer we make some alterations and increase the neckline. That will give us a better result for what we are looking for, the picture we have down on the screen right there. All right, so now I'm also going to tighten or contour the back. Okay, I'm going to contour the back by 0.5 inch, and I'm going to connect it to the midline. Okay, so this is our back contour line right now for the center back. Okay, so like I said, if you want to know how this is being done, please click on the description box below. You will see the link to the drafting of the half scale bodies. Okay, all right, so this is the few alterations we want to make right here. And like I said, we are concentrating on the neckline. That is our focus. We are going to cut and draft and show you how the neckline is being achieved. So if you look at this, you can see we have some dots naturally on the bodies. We added 1 inch of the waist dart. So I have a waist of 36 inches right now. Divided by 4 is 9 inches. Plus 1 inch of the waistline. You can see it is being replaced in here. Okay. So coming over to the back, I also have, because we've contoured our line right here, so divide by my waist, divide by 4 is 9. This is my 9 inches, replacing 1 inch of my dart. I'm going to replace it right away. Okay, I started all the way from this contour line to take my measurement, because from this contour line is going off. So I'm taking 9 inches from here, adding 1 inch to it. Okay, so I'm going to reconstruct my back neckline right now. From the chest line, I'm going to connect it to replace the contour line which we have taken out of our measurement. I believe you understand that. So this is the little alteration I want to make before we jump into this tutorial right away. So with what I have in here, I think we are good to go right now. So I'm going to cut right now. So we start this tutorial right away. So remember that this neckline we are making, the bodice have no dart. There is no dart attached to it. And of course, we are going to make use of a stretchy fabric for the construction of the neckline. Please take note of that. Before you make a turtle necklines always, you know, goes with a stretchy fabric. So the stretchy fabric has to stretch front and right and left. That is in both directions. It has to be stretchy for you to achieve an accurate turtle neckline. Alright, so this is going to be the front bodice, my front bodice, and now I want to cut out the back bodies. Okay, so this is the neckline, the new created neckline which we are making use of for this tutorial, and I'm going to cut through the contour line. That is the back contour line. Okay, so like I said, the bodice we are making has no dart, but while I still leave this dart is because I need to create some room allowance to alright people, so this is what I expect you to have right now at the end of the drafting of your half scale and full scale. Cutting it off, this is what we are going to make use of for this turtleneck, as you can see. So you can see that on the picture there's no dart to that turtleneck. Of course, it's a stretchy fabric that is used for the construction of that turtleneck bodice. There's no dart. So what it means is that we are going to close up our darts right now. All these darts are going to be closed up. Okay, so I'm going to close this dart, and this is how I'm going to do that. I'm going to apply my adhesive and close up all my darts before I cut on my fabric. So I'm closing up my darts right now. These darts I'm closing up right now are the waist dart and the bust dart. Okay, so I'm going to close up my waist dart. You can see how the waist dart is being closed right away. So I'm going to apply my adhesive to make sure I close up my waist dart appropriately. So I'm going to close it up, as you can see, before I cut on my fabric. So this is what you are expected to have. Okay, so you can see the effect is having already, because I closed up the bust dart. You can see the bust is showing itself in here. Okay, all right, so having closed this is what I'm going to use to cut up my fabric right now. And for the back, I'm also going to close up the dart so I can cut the back bodice as well. Remember, there's no seam allowance added to this. We are going to add our seam allowances right on the fabric. Okay, we are adding our seam allowances right on the fabric. Okay people, so this is what I expect you to have for the front and the back bodies after closing the darts right away. So right now I'm going to make use of an Ankara fabric for the bodice, but I would suggest, or I will advise you make use of a stretchy fabric if you have enough stretchy fabric to work with. Okay, but because this is a demonstration tutorial, I want to make use of the Ankara fabric as my bodice while I use the stretchy fabric. So for the bodice right now, I'm making use of this. Okay, that is the Ankara fabric for the bodice. Like I said, this tutorial is focusing on the turtleneck to show you how to attach the turtleneck. We are not really doing a real, construction of any on any clothing in here, but just to show you how you can achieve the turtleneck. So right now that we have our turtle neckline, we need to take the measurement of this turtle neckline. So this is my front neckline, and I'll be putting in my tape measure this way to take what I have here, the measurement I have. And you can see from this point to this point, the measurement I got in here is 6 inches. So I'll write it down. Okay, then coming to the back bodies, the measurement I have in here is, I have the measurement of 4.75 inches. Okay, so right now we are going to put together 4.75 times 2, 6 times 2. So 4.75 times 2 will get the result, and 6 inches times 2. Okay, this is just a quarter of the body, so that is why we are timesing by 2 by 2. So whatever total we'll get in here, that is what we are going to use for our turtle neckline length. Okay, so but first of all, let us cut our fabric right now before we go into the turtle neckline. So I'm going to place my Ankara fabric right away, and I'm cutting the front bodice first. So cutting on my front bodice, I'm going to place on fold. Okay, so the front side is placed on fold. So remember, there is no dart attached to this. There is no dart at all. Okay, so like I said, it's a stretchy fabric. That is what you are supposed to use, but because it's a demonstration tutorial, I'm making use of an Ankara fabric. So right away, this is what I have in here. Okay, and this side is placed on fold. So I'm going to pin it up right away so we can cut off and add our seam allowances where necessary. All right people, so now you can see I'm done cutting my fabric with my pattern. You can see what I have in here. I added 0.5 inch, 0.5 inch, and 1 inch by the side, and 0.5 inch to stitch the skirt part to the front bodice. So you can see this part is on fold. You can see that, while I still have my darts closed and all that. Okay, so right now this is my back bodice. You can see my 1 inch zipper allowance, and I have 0.5 inch on the neckline running down to 1 inch on the side seam, and 0.5 or to join the down part to the back bodice. Okay, so I'm looking at this. You can see the two of them are equal right now. Okay, once the bust dart is closed, everything rhymes and they are equal right away. So the next thing we want to do now is to make use of these calculations, this neckline calculation. We are going to put 4.75 times 2 together with 6.2 together. So we are going to take the whole calculation right now to construct our turtle neckline. So after cutting our fabric and adding our necessary seam allowance, we are going to take the measurement of the front neckline times 2, and the measurement of our back neckline times 2, and what we have in here is 9.5. 4.75 times 2 is 9.5, and 6 times 2 is 12. So all together in here I have 21. Okay, the measurement of my neckline is 21.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to add +2 of my zipper seam allowance, and I have 23.5 altogether. So this 23.5, I'm going to divide it by 2 because we are going to cut our fabric on bias to get the turtleneck line accurately. So now 23.5 divided by 2, that is what we are going to use as the width of our neckline. So in here I have 23.5 divided by 2, I have 11.75, that is 11.75. So we are going to fold our fabric right now on bias, and we are going to take the measurement of the width of this collar neckline as 11.75, including the seam allowance. So this is my fabric I'm making use of. Okay, like I said, you need a stretchy fabric like this, and it has to stretch on both directions. Okay, it has to stretch on both directions. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to place this stretchy fabric on bias. Okay, of course you know how to place on bias. Placing on bias means you have to place your fabric at 45 degrees angle. Okay, so just like a triangle. So this is what I have right now. I've folded on bias right away. So this is exactly what you expected to have once you fold on bias. Okay, so always fold your fabric on bias if you are cutting a neckline, a turtle neckline more especially. So right now we got our calculation that it has 11.5. So 11.75 is going to be the width. So I will take the measurement of the 11.75. Okay, so this is what I have at that point exactly. So I'm going to place my ruler on a straight line on the bias on the point of 11.75, and I'll make a mark. Can you see? This is measured 11.75, which is the calculation we had. Okay, so the width of the neck, including the zipper allowance we added, is 11.75. So you can see my 11.75, and that is exactly where I ruled my line at 11.75. So the length of this turtleneck, I want to make use of 14 inches because that is really a long turtleneck. Is actually way too long. So you can see my mark of 14 inches in here. Okay, so now this 14 inches I have as the length of this. I'm going to connect it back. Okay, so let me cross check if I still have. Okay, and I'm going to measure what I have in here, whatever thing I have in here, which is 11.75. I'm going to return it in here. So this is the mark of 11.5, and I'm going to draw a straight line connecting these 2 points together before I cut. Can you see? All right, so I have a square in here. So right away I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut starting from the beginning. So this is how you cut your turtleneck collar. Okay, so this is it, people. You put on bias and you cut out. You can see what we have right now. So right away, this is at top point. You can see the result of what I have in the turtleneck collar, which was placed on bias and cut. You know, this is how it was before we cut it. All right, so right now I'm going to make a notch on the midpoint. This is the midpoint for the upper part, and this is the midpoint for the lower part. So all I need to do right now is to match the midpoint to midpoint, and I'll secure it with my pin, and I'll keep securing with my pin, merging them together, because that is how I'm going to sew this turtleneck right on my neckline. So remember, the length I took in here is 14 inches. You might decide to take 16 inches depending on how you want your turtleneck to fall. Okay, so you can see I'm pinning them, putting them together like this. Okay, so at this point you will have an excess which you can see me cut out to match it up. You know it's placed on bias, so you don't expect it to be equal at this point. So you trim up the excess you have on this side, and I will continue merging also on this part. I'll keep merging. Alright, so merging up to this point, you can also see, because it's cut on bias, so I need to also trim it off. Can you see? So I'm trimming off the little excess I have in there. Okay, so I have my turtleneck line. Okay, so this is how I'm going to fix it right now to the neckline. Okay, so right now I'm going to sew these two bodice together so we can start fixing our neckline. So this is my bodice right now, my bodice front, and this is my bodice back. So I'm putting my bodice front and back together right now. I believe you understand what we are doing in here. So I'm going to my machine right away, and I'm going to stitch the shoulder seam lines. I'm going to stitch them together. I'll also do the same on this other part as well. Okay, all right, so I'm going to stitch them together, then I'll also stitch the sides together, then bring it back for us to start fixing our turtleneck line. All right people, so you can see I'm done stitching the front and the back bodies together. This is the shoulder seam line, and now it's time for us to start fixing our turtleneck line. Okay, so this is the armhole part and the zipper part for the back. So right now I'm going to make a notch at the center front. You can see how I'm doing that. I'm putting the center front together to make a notch. Okay, because that is the point at which we are going to start fixing the center front notch. You can see. All right people, so at this point you need to steam the turtle collar. Can you see? So you can see this is the process it has to undergo before you fix it to the neckline. So you can see I'm stretching it a little with my steam. Can you see? So I'm stretching it a little with my steam. All right, so you make sure you steam and you stretch. Okay, so having done that, the next thing we are going to do right away is to merge the notches together. These notches are going to be placed at the center front line. Okay, so I'm going to fix it on the neckline right now. All right beautiful people, so you can see I'm done stitching end to end. From the midpoints of the center front notch, I stitched and I pinned up to the zipper allowance. So right now I'm going to my machine and I'm going to run 0.5 inch stitch, then I'll bring it back for you to see the result. We've come to the end of our turtleneck line right now. So you can see I've fixed my turtleneck line. So you are going to overlock this part. Okay, so you can see the center front notch line, two of them are matching together with the collar. So this is how the collar is going to look like. The neckline is going to be folded this way. Then you attach your zipper. Can you see that? You attach your zipper to the end of it. Okay, and then you roll it down. All right, people, so you can see the collar right now. That is before you roll the collar. Okay, so you have to stretch it the way you see it in here. You can see that is the way it is. Then we are going to roll it down. Can you see? So we are going to roll it down to. All right, people, so you can see how beautiful this collar is. Really, this collar is really very beautiful, as you can see. Okay, so if you actually want it to, you know, be fuller, all you need to do is to extend the length. Okay, you know, we used 14 inches for the length of this before we folded it. In other words, we have 7 inches in here folded into 2. So if you really want it to roll and roll and roll, you can get up to 20 inches. So you have enough of it rolling up there. But I think what I have in here is looking so beautiful. All right, people, thank you very much for coming to this tutorial. If you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe. Turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this each week. Like this video, share to family and friends. Please keep on following SEAMRITE Fashion Academy. If you have some suggestions or comments, please drop on the comment section. Thank you very much. See you in my next video. Bye.